20 points. The rest of the Mavs had 15, and the poor T-Wolves only had 19. Second time with 20 points in a quarter in his playoff career. Were you surprised by the Mavs steamrolling the Wolves?
I wasn't surprised.
They weren't?
I was crestfallen.
Oh.
Woe be gone. Doleful even.
Doleful?
Yes.
I'm not familiar with that one. Go ahead.
No, honestly, I was not surprised they won, even though I picked the Minnesota. I'm not surprised they won.
10 toes.
I was 10 toes
Yeah.
down. I was surprised, though, how they won. That was not expected from me. I mean, every game had been close. And I remember when I saw Luka hit this shot, this could get ugly because if they bottle up Luka or if he gets cold, Kyrie's still there. Yeah. And so, look, Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns were okay. They each had 12 points in the first half. But these two, Kyrie had 15 in the second quarter. So Luka goes for 20 in the first quarter, Kyrie goes for 15 in the second. They were outstanding. So my hat is off to Dallas, to Kyrie Irving, and to the man that I told America was the MVP of the league.
Well, so that,
Luka
and
Doncic.
that is true, and we will get to Luka specifically in a moment. You guys, of course, know I wasn't surprised they won. I was surprised it was that type of domination, even though we have seen Luka go into other people's buildings and eliminate them in dominating fashion. And, that is right. I didn't even think of it. This was in someone else's building. So, Brew, what did Luka do? What did he do? He went in the Timberwolves' house. He threw his feet up on their couch. Now, he thought about for a moment, should I pull out the Xbox and play some Overwatch? And he's like, no, it's finals week. But is Michael Finley around? No, he's not? All right, no problem.
Oh,
I'm gonna crack open.
A Stella this
yeah,
time.
a nice
No, we're in
European
Medellin.
lager. I deserve it.
Oh,
I'm drinking pop.
And then,
you're
oh my
drinking
goodness,
Luka.
it's frothing everywhere.
Luka's
and
rude
then
in people's
he
houses.
then
That's
said, I did go in someone else's house, and this was a gentleman's suite. So, Ant-Man, bring me the most gentlemanly hookah you can find.
Oh, it's back.
Because that is with a bow tie and all. And he kicked his feet up, staring at the Great Lakes.
Who
did this?
for the gentleman?
Guys, you cannot. Christina, did
What?
you put a bow tie on?
I think it was Christina's idea.
He did. Because my large adult Slovenian son at 25 years old has now checked every box but one, and that one is coming.
What's a large box?
This was the first time, and this is why this team's so dangerous. This was, in my opinion, the first time all playoffs, Brew, that Luka looked like apex playoff Luka. And I don't think that was one of his 5 best career playoff games. The numbers don't think it. The eye test doesn't say it. To me, at least, it was maybe his best quarter.
Right.
But overall game.
Yeah, after that, he started.
And to do that to a team that we were discussing, I mean, the take whiplash this postseason from the gap between Jokic and the next best player is like LeBron in 2013. The Nuggets are a dynasty. Oh, wait, actually, they're going to get swept. Oh, wait, no, they're still going to win the title. Oh, wait, no, the team that beat them is going to win the title, and they have the best defense we've seen in 20 years. Oh, wait, that team just got beat by 20-plus on their court because they couldn't get a stop. Because this wasn't about, as you kind of alluded to, Ant or Karl Anthony Towns' offense. This was about the #1 defense in the league being dissected by Luka and Kyrie, and Kyrie was brilliant as well. And so this Mavs team, man, Luka has shown you. Luka by himself with a good defense makes you a fringe contender like they were a couple years ago. Luka plus an all-star with an excellent defense.
And he's a great fit.
A great
fit. Perfect fit.
Which I think a lot of people didn't think was going to be the case at first. No, I was one of them.
I don't think anybody did.
That can be the best team in basketball. And so to average 32, 10, and 8 for a series against a defense that was being discussed in historical terms 10 days ago.
Which I thought was a little far-fetched to say they were, some people were saying, one of the best defenses ever.
They were
the best in the league.
Was that game 2 that they looked so great?
Yeah, without Rudy.
But best
and
ever is going a long way. But look, there's been the talk about this being the best offensive backcourt. And none of us believe that. They got to win this championship first. But what I will say, Steph and Clay. Clay, not a great passer. I'm not saying he's a bad passer, but, he's not known for passing. All right, he can take you off the dribble, but that's not like something he does at an all-time high level. Isaiah and Joe Dumars, part of their greatness, certainly with Dumars, was the defense. He wasn't an all-time talent offensively. This backcourt, now it's not, Steph and Clay is the best backcourt ever, offensively and period. But these two, the thing that makes them so tough is they both can do everything. They both have great handles. They both can get to the rim and finish. They both can shoot the mid-range with excellence. They both shoot the three with excellence. Like, they're both great passers. Like, there's nothing either one of them cannot do, and that's what makes them pretty much almost impossible to guard. It's just that they got to miss.
And so Kyrie is... We have seen Kyrie we saw it a couple times. The series against against Milwaukee when he was with Boston, and then the series
they had made to the conference finals.
Correct, and then also the series against Boston when he was with Brooklyn. We've seen him struggle in the playoffs, so we know it can happen. But when he's rolling, it feels like, how can it happen? And then there's Luka, who I know that there is. I was doing, in fairness, the last few years, I think I probably was doing with Luka what annoyed me when people were doing with Joker, which is, I see it, I know it's going to happen, I don't care if I'm early. And just in fairness, other people saw it in Joker before I did, and I wanted him to accomplish it first. I didn't hold Luka to that same standard because I felt I saw it, so I understand where that's coming from.
Real Madrid championship.
That is, honestly, it's not nothing as a teenager doing that. But Luka now has a 45-game playoff career, which isn't massive, but it's not nothing. Here is where he ranks in points and assists of all players ever. In points, he's second, alongside 5 other legends. Again, I don't know why we're making this list 6 wide. 5 makes more sense.
5 would really be.
5 would, but you know what I mean? Just 6 works. And then we'll go top 10 in assists per game, and Luka finds himself in 10th place. I also like this graphic because it reminds me about Kevin Johnson. But those are some of the... Brew, if we were to say who are the greatest passers in NBA history, 7 names are on that list. Luka's on that one. If we said who are the greatest scorers in NBA history, it's a lot of names on that previous list. For him to be right now on both of those lists, when theoretically the best is yet to come for him, or he's just now, as we talked about the other day, first year fully in his prime at 25 years old, or maybe we think he got there a little earlier. Still, it's borderline, it's not unprecedented, but it is historic individual offensive production that now has the winning to go along with.
All right, is Luka now the best player in the league?
Whew. Well, first of all, he's got to seal the deal with this championship, all right? Obviously, I voted him for my MVP. I was only one of 4.
Yeah. Should have been 5 because
early
I
on
should
that.
have had a vote. But that's
a good.
I thought he had the best season, and I think up to this point, he is the first player ever to lead the playoffs in total points, total rebounds, and total assists. Yeah. I believe that's the case.
I think that's entering the finals, and then once the finals end, like I think Joker did it. You know what I mean? So you're right. So I think it's through the conference finals. He's first got to do it. I think.
Well, look, we know we're in the era of parity. All right, this will be the 6th new champion in the last 6 years. And as far as the best player in the world, I honestly feel like it is a personal preference. It is in the eye of the beholder. Now, I only think there's 2 guys. I think Jokic and Luka are the 2 best players in the world. Giannis's offense is too... doesn't have the skill level that these guys have. Now, he's clearly the best.
Non-skills get you 33.
Right, but still, when I need a shot at the end of the game, I'm not even thinking about, like, him just getting the ball and doing something. I think his offensive skill level takes him out of it when you look at these 2. Now, he's clearly the best defender. Embiid, come on. I mean, you got to get past the second round of the playoffs.
Correct. No, Embiid's not in the
conversation.
Discussion.
Right.
No.
And he was great. He was the best player before he got hurt this year. Like, he was having the best season. But I think it's down to Jokic and Luka. And honestly, I don't know how you pick. If you want to pick it by saying this guy won the championship this year, or even this guy got further this year in the playoffs, okay. But I look at these stats. These are their stats from the playoffs this year, and obviously Jokic went out early. It's a wash. I mean, Jokic obviously has the rebounding, better field goal percentage, but three-point, it was Luka.
Yeah.
Stats are basically a wash.
And Luka just rolled the team that beat them, which counts for a little bit.
Yeah, right. I mean, look, if people want to say Wright, this may be before, like in the 70s, you kind of had, it was Kareem. I'm talking about post-merger.
Yeah.
Kareem, Dr. J, Moses Malone. Who's the best player in the world? Bill Walton. Then you had Bird and Magic.
Kind of bad.
That's kind of like, personal preference. Who do I like better, Bird or Magic? Then Jordan. Yeah. And then you had kind of that, is it Shaq?
So
is
that's
it
where
Duncan?
I want to jump in.
Then LeBron.
So I think that we are, because I disagree with you on Giannis, and I'm going to tell you why. I think it is a dead heat three-man race right now. It's also why the MVP stuff still sticks in my craw a bit, because right now it's like, well, Jokic has 3 MVPs, Giannis has 2, Luka has 0. Right. In my opinion, a more fairer MVP history would be Jokic with 2, Giannis with 2, Luka with 1, and then it wouldn't feel like, it wouldn't feel like a 10-8 round.
He's so much younger.
Correct.
And he's going to start getting
I'm going to point at a very specific year, because I think right now, like in wrestling where they do I don't know if it's a ladder match where the belt hangs above the ring.
I like that.
I feel like it's up for grabs.
And whoever wins it is.
Well, I think Luka has to win it, and then we've got to have the real discussion. In the year 2000, so we are a full year removed from Jordan. Duncan, as a second-year player, just won the championship. Malone is a year removed from winning league MVP and about to win another one. And Shaq is there kind of hovering over the whole league as a situation, but he hadn't gotten it done yet. It wasn't clear who going into that season was the best player in the league. Shaq then grabbed a hold of it and held it, in my opinion, for the next 3-4 years. That's where we are right now. So I tried to be as fair as possible. You guys tell me if you agree with these rankings. Luka, Giannis, Jokic, across really the 6 skill sets. And I ranked them. So scoring, Luka's first, Giannis is second, Joker's third. Scoring, I mean, that's to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't have Giannis ahead of Joker.
Scoring?
The Joker can score more if he won it.
Okay,
he just
but
doesn't have, he have to.
Okay, but
he's clearly far more offensively skilled as a scorer.
So shoot. Okay, so I
like Giannis can't shoot.
I think that I understand, but despite that, he averages more points every year of his career than Joker. So I mean, if you can do it, but you don't do it, I'm not that interested. But regardless, shooting, Luka is first, Giannis is third, Joker is second. Passing, I couldn't pick. So I gave him tied for first. The two of them, Giannis is clearly third. I think you can make a strong argument for either one. Rebounding, clearly Luka's last. Giannis is second. I gave it to Joker. Interior defense, Luka's last. Giannis is first. Joker's second. Perimeter defense, Luka's second. You can see it. So I also think defense sometimes too unfairly. We talk about all the offensive skills individually. That's why I broke up defense a bit.
Sure.
And so
Could I put ass stocks in there? Did you do that?
Well, assist, steals, blocks. I think it'd be close because steals and blocks go Giannis, assist. But so for whatever it's worth, I then added these up where you get 1 point for first, 2 for second, 3 for third. You want the lowest possible score. It was 11.5, 12, 12.5. And so it was with Luka, winning by a half point. So the point I'm making is I would choose Luka, but I clearly have had a pro-Luka bias, so to speak. Sure. I don't think I think you are a little unfair to Giannis. Because,
I'm just saying,
but the whole
he doesn't. They are so. These are two of the most offensively skilled players in the history of the game, and Giannis is way behind him. I think that gap. He's way ahead of him defensively, but I don't think that makes up for the offensive gap.
So if I may rebut that with 2 quick points. One is, despite that, the single best offensive playoff game any of them have ever had belongs to Giannis, and Giannis had all these flaws that you're talking about when you considered him the best player in the league.
Right.
And so
because Jokic had not proven he can get it done at the higher level, and obviously Luka hadn't.
And so I think that it is a dead heat. And I think that this is a unique time in NBA history where it's not just about what Luka does this year. Luka, for most people, is going to have to win the championship this year. But then next year, I think will be the tiebreaker for all three of them. If you know what I mean.
And I think it's a year where they kind of like it might be year to year who we consider the best until maybe that next Jordan, LeBron, Wemby.
Yeah,
I mean, really.
Exactly.
Here's what I think: Jokic has a slight advantage defensively over Luka just because of his size. Now, neither's a great defender, but I would take Jokic just because of his size and all that. I think the thing I like better about Luka, though, is that he is a more aggressive scorer.
Yes.
All right, there were times this postseason where I wanted Jokic to look more for his shot. Right? He could go get 40 kind of when he wants, but sometimes he doesn't look. Like Luka is more MJ, Kobe, and Jokic is more LeBron, Magic in terms of the mentality.
But didn't we have that stat that like out of Joker's like top 6
they lost all but
they lost 5 of them. So that's why I know you're like kind of just throwing it away. It's like, he doesn't want to score. He wants to get Aaron Gordon the ball. He wants to get.
But I think that one thing, Luka is the closer.
Yes.
I mean, Kyrie can close too. They're both closers. But I don't need, like when I got Jokic, I kind of need another closer, and it's Murray. All right, and so I think, not that Jokic can't close, wasn't that LeBron couldn't close, but you had other, but he plays on the perimeter too. So, but I think that's one advantage, but I just think it's a personal preference.
I also think if Luka wins this title, the winning resumes for the three of them are identical. They each will have been to one finals, won one championship. Their second best playoff run for each of them will be losses in the conference finals and only one trip to the conference finals. The first team all NBAs right now is Joker with 4, Luka with 5, Giannis with 6. If Luka finishes this off, even though he's 3-4 years younger than these two guys, the resumes up to this point are truly identical except for league MVPs, which again sticks in my craw a bit, but I get it. And I think Luka already has guaranteed he starts next year almost a lap ahead of the field in MVP. In the MVP race. Just like I thought this year. I thought this year, Brew, did you agree? He started a lap down on the field because of their season last year. And that's one of the reasons a guy could win.
I do feel like Jokic started further, like with a head start. Because some people felt he should have won it last year.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.